Hello, humans and other creatures. It's finally time to conclude the epic 3-part series on this channel where we cover the Godzilla anime trilogy. In this third part, we'll take a look at the conclusion, Godzilla, the Planet Eater. The film begins, and the first thing we are treated to is an extended narration by Metphius, while footage from the previous 2 films plays. Part of this narration reveals that the Exif have actually been observing humanity's growth since the birth of civilization thousands of years ago. One important thing the Exif have noted is that despite being religious, humans don't follow gods. They follow heroes, whom they believe represent those gods. Interesting, but also who gives a shit. Because of the energy exerted destroying Mechagodzilla, Godzilla has entered a stasis to regain his power. I wonder where that came from, while the Central Committee reviews the audio of Haruo's decision. This causes some strife, as the
Saludo
members believe Haruo was in the wrong for choosing not to turn himself into metal and commit suicide. A perfect example of why that was a bad idea is Hooters, who, psych bitch, didn't die and is now in a sci-fi coma. Space dead. The best kind of dead. Hooters' body and a damaged Gundam are the only surviving nanometal from the attack. Thank God. There's so much gray in the last movie, I thought it was in a modern public library. While Haruo is grieving over the death of his poorly developed love interest, a group of survivors intrude to say that they believe Haruo's resistance to the nanometal was nothing other than divine intervention. Our pseudoscience specialist quickly puts that theory to bed, explaining that everybody who was resistant to the nanometal's fusion attempts was medically treated by the Hotua. Haruo wakes up with no clothes and is covered in glitter. Hey man, happens to the best of us. However, with so many in Metphius' cult, it's best not to let that go public. Discussing this with the only other named character that hasn't died yet, Metphius admits that he is aware of the Hotua glitter's anti-metal properties, but is encouraging people to believe in divine intervention to boost morale. Remember how in the first part of this series I mentioned how I would talk about the excess of religion? Shut up, yes you do. Well, seeing as this whole movie is centered around exploring that concept, I figure I should too. Metphius basically drops the same fake insight that is in every poorly written fantasy film. Magic is no different than sufficiently advanced technology. Luckily, the Exif have this technology. Those Gamatrons are advanced enough to allow communication with higher dimensional beings. But basically, all of the Exif are super religious, and some of them have these things called Gamatrons that are basically computers powered by God. That's actually how they describe them. To the Exif, believing in a higher power is an absolute mathematical conclusion made possible by sufficiently advanced technology. I get the constant feeling that the writers are trying to say something about religion in this movie, but it just doesn't come across in a way that makes the least bit of sense. Uh-oh! Do you know what that means? It's mutiny time! Mutiny! The
Saludo
take control of the ship's engine room and threaten to turn off the ship's power if Haruo isn't held accountable for his actions. What actions? Not turning himself into metal and committing suicide. Those are the demands. You have 48 hours. The writer read in his screenwriting 101 manual that time limits make movies more exciting, so now he's forcing them into every one. Between this and Metphius' ever-expanding cult, Haruo seems to have lost all control over his company. In order to avoid further conflict, it's decided that he'll hide away with Miana until things settle down. Sleepover time! We can watch scary movies, do each other's hair, and tell each other stories! I'll go first. My parents were killed by Godzilla when I was little, and then I finally had a chance to kill it, but I was forced to abandon that plan so I could save the girl that I loved, but she ended up dying anyway, and did I mention this happened yesterday? Guys, I'm trying to make these dialogue scenes more interesting, but it's really hard. They're gonna have to try if they want to get my attention, but whoa, I didn't mean it like that. Whoa. Too hot for TV, had to be Netflix exclusive. Yeah, okay. Haruo pulls an absolute Chad move and says no hanky-panky tonight. I'm going to sleep. He wakes up and realizes that Miana wasn't able to open the latch on his suit, even though she's done it before. That means that before it was actually Mina posing as Miana, and now it's the real Miana. Whoa! Space-time continuum or something! Hey guys, it's me, Quentiam from the future, here to tell you that I fucked up! I was looking at my notes after I finished recording and realized that some of these names didn't really match up. And this whole Miana business was a little more fishy than I first thought. I decided to double check Wikizilla, the definitive site for all knowledge Godzilla related. By the way, Titanolante, I love you, please marry me. But anyway, it turns out I was wrong. Like, way wrong. I was taking notes as I was watching the movie, and almost all notes on what twin is in which scene is completely reversed, and it's a fucking mess. To explain what is really happening in this scene, because apparently the movie can't fucking do that, this girl who is in the hut with Haruo is Maina, who was pretending to be Miana until Haruo figured it out. Just for reference, Miana was the one who was developing the love triangle. So the one who is developing a romantic relationship with Haruo is not the one who fucks Haruo in the scene. That's probably why I was confused. Yes, they do end up fucking in this scene. So yeah, I'm gonna have to come back to make a few fixes later too, so I'll catch you there. Woo, time travel. Metphys has a secret telepathic conversation with another Exif on board the ship. They discuss their super evil secret plans to summon their god. Ooh, spooky. He needed this little rock in order to do that though. Rock? Yeah, that's a cool rock you're repairing and all, but you know how I feel about creepy doomsday cults. Overhearing this brain call is Miana, resulting in a telepath showdown that gets a little too handsy for my liking.
Bad touch, stranger danger.
We've gone 2 movies without a giant monster fight. I was promised a giant monster fight. Where is my giant monster? Metphys agrees with me, and begins his ritual to summon the god of another world, the Wings of Death. Yeah, are you kidding me? It's just a fucking shadow? Don't cockblock me like this, man. Back on the mothership. A gravitational anomaly begins to open. I don't believe it. Could it really be? We made it, boys! I've been waiting for this. Come to Papa! The giant golden sex symbol from space destroys the mothership before opening black holes on Earth, awakening Godzilla. We're well over 3 hours into this trilogy, and we can finally have a monster fight. Oh, did I say fight? 'Cause turns out Godzilla can't even hit Ghidorah. Or touch it at all, for that matter. We've got a budget? The onlookers to this underwhelming confrontation realize that they can't detect Ghidorah on any of their sensors. It's like it's not even there. Of course, the only explanation is that Ghidorah exists in a different dimension and is using an artifact in our world to exert ethereal control. Of course, the logical explanation. And by the way, this is coming from the biologist? I guess you're a fucking quantum physicist now, huh? What, you get a fucking diploma from fakediploma.com when I wasn't looking or something, huh? It's that time of the movie again. Come on, say it with me. What's Metphys up to? Oh, he's just basking in the golden glory of the captivating kaiju. As a bonus, he's holding Miana captive. What, she trying to legitimize your cult or something?
Not truly a religion until you bang kids.
For everybody who is confused as to what Metphys' evil plan is, he takes this opportunity to explain it all to Haruo. A planet sprouts life. Life forms civilizations. A civilization's arrogance creates monsters, and Ghidorah feeds on those monsters. Along with the planet as a whole, I guess, I don't know. Metphys also replaces Eye with the magic rock because he's just crazy now, I guess. One mind crush from Yu-Gi-Oh! And Haruo gets sent to the fucking sunken place. So yeah, if you were expecting an exciting monster fight, then you should go home and cry, because this movie's climax is a series of flashbacks and pointless imagery, while Mephius tries to convince Haruo that Ghidorah eating the planet is a good thing. At least the movie is kind enough to give us a cameo from Mothra. Only in silhouette though. Budget, guys. Budget. As you could probably guess, Haruo manages to break free of his mind illusion by stabbing his fingers into Mephius' eyes like a fucking gladiator.
That's fucking metal as fuck, dude!
Shattering the rock, Ghidorah is brought into the mortal plane, and Godzilla is able to easily dispatch it. Gone too soon, my beautiful beast. They go through all this effort to hype up Ghidorah in the last two movies, and all it does is show up, hug Godzilla, and die. And it doesn't even look like Ghidorah. How am I supposed to fit this on a body pillow? It simply stinks of a problem that plagues the entire trilogy. Minimal effort. Let's do the least amount of work we can to meet the bare minimum for a feature-length film. Speaking of bare minimum, this movie concludes with this odd-ass PowerPoint presentation that shows the few dozen humans that remain joining in Hotua society. The budget! Don't go over budget! Haruo decides to take Yuko's nanometal body into the repaired Gundam. He takes humanity's sufficiently advanced technology and gets Godzilla to destroy it, dooming the world to a life of subservitude to the monster. So, there was a Godzilla anime trilogy. Yeah, there sure was. Look, as a fan of the property, I'm open to all kinds of new and interesting interpretations of an admittedly basic starting concept. I really don't think it's possible to ruin something like Godzilla. But goddamn, these movies tried. It's a very interesting concept, but that's it. It's like they came up with a plot summary and then immediately started making them without fleshing out the story, characters, or plot any further. Is it a unique idea that could have been really good? Yeah, totally. But just because you have a good idea doesn't mean your film will magically turn into something awesome. The problem resides in the fact that this was a trilogy at all. 3 animated movies in a year is insane for anybody to try. Even the best in the world wouldn't pull that off. You can really see this struggle to just get it done when the final movie is almost a third flashbacks to the previous ones. Anyway, this concludes part 3 of the series. If you've watched all 3 parts, thank you for sticking through this admittedly longer than I had anticipated adventure. If you haven't seen the previous 2 parts, I'll leave a link in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Quentiam. Stay safe, stay beautiful. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
I was a kid.